Oh, dude, speaking of ratings, and man, I was reading this story this morning, and it's out of St. Charles County, and headline is, Woman Pleads Guilty to Killing Man in Wentzville After Bad Online Escort Review.
What? What?
He had to leave the review, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, like right before we went on the air. I was reading the story. This is, I think it's from the Post-Dispatch. Woman pleads guilty to killing man in Wentzville after bad online escort review. St. Louis County woman pleaded guilty Monday to stabbing and killing a Wentzville man who had left her a bad review on an escort website. Paige Lane, 31, pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in St. Charles County Court Monday, sentenced to 25 years in prison in the April 1st, 2021 death of Stephen Wilson.
Oh, it was April Fool's Day. It's probably just joking around.
Nope.
Nope,
a man is dead. So this guy, 40 years old, was found dead with stab wounds to his neck and head at his house in Wentzville. The woman claimed to St. Charles County Police a couple days after she stabbed the guy in self-defense, a detective wrote in court documents. She told investigators that this guy had accused her of theft and began leaving negative reviews on her escort page under her alias, Danielle Diamond, causing her to lose significant amounts of income.
Yeah, I saw that review. I was like, I'm not going to use that lady.
1 star. Nope. Next.
Next one, please.
She told police that she went to his house the night of the killing, pretending to be a different sex worker named Trixie. When he found out it was her, she told police she convinced him to send her a Cash App $100 electronic payment. She says to police that she went inside the house, but this guy, Stephen, slashed her arm with a knife during an argument about payments. She told police that she then pulled out her own knife and stabbed him before taking a bag of watches, 2 cell phones, and his knife from the home.
So it was almost self-defense.
So she says, but then she robbed him.
No.
Man.
She told police that she thought she had killed Wilson and did not contact police or request medical assistance. The watches were later found by police in her hotel room at the Pear Tree Inn in St. Anne near Lambert Airport. Police found records of messages between these two dating back to December of 2020, with recent conversations showing the two were in an ongoing dispute over the theft accusations. In the conversation, Stephen Wilson messaged Paige Lane, quote, advice, better get a knife. Whoa.
Damn.
Wow, that's a sticky situation.
Yeah. So she pretended to be somebody else, went to the guy's house, and killed him.
God, have you seen the reviews? Do you know what the reviews
I don't
were?
know what the review is. I don't know what website that is. That's a whole world that I'm really ignorant in.
Yeah.
That's a whole...
Is prostitute reviews?
No, just that whole sex worker thing.
The fact that they've been going back and forth since 2020, that's quite a relationship.
I guess he was a regular.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, do you guys know anybody who has frequented sex workers?
We probably do and don't realize.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm sure we do.
Yeah, it's not like they would brag.
I mean, a guy or two I knew, like on different crews or bands from tours and stuff. But I wouldn't say that I wouldn't know if they were regulars in their own hometown. It was just like if we went places that things were legal, Amsterdam, Singapore, a couple others.
Branson.
They would, yeah, they would partake.
Oh, they would.
Yes.
So they would go to the red light district.
Oh yes. I've heard some just astonishing stories.
Really?
Astonishing stories.
Now, is it like they say? Because I've never been to Amsterdam. Mike, have you?
I haven't been to Amsterdam, no.
So you go to the red light district, and there are the sex workers in the windows, right? In the windows of these, like, almost storefronts.
Yeah, I've never been in the red light district, but he had gone and told me an interesting story. And his experience was full on. It wasn't just like, watching or whatever. It was going in, being taken up to a 3rd or 4th floor or something. And he said it was one of the most remarkable experiences of his life. Like he was like this. It was more than I expected.
I don't know. All I'm thinking is awkwardness. I mean, for me.
Yeah, he said it wasn't.
For me.
The small talk beforehand?
Yeah, I mean, do you small talk? Honestly, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, and those are all the normal questions that I was asking, too. Like, what do you mean? How does it start? Whatever. And he made it seem like it was the most comfortable thing. Even he was surprised as to how comfortable he felt during and afterwards. Had
Like
another-
for the sex worker, it's a transaction.
right.
Yeah, they probably put you at ease like a jeweler. Just make you feel nice and
like a
comfortable.
jeweler.
Yeah, that's almost how he kind of made it seem. I mean, he was raving about the experience. I had another buddy who was in Korea for a short while, and it was one of those like clubs, it's funny. It's funny because when he was describing this, well, I forget which country I was in, but he had visited and was in the dressing room, and I said, "Oh man, the weirdest way they got us into this dressing room is they took us to the back way, and the building that the venue was attached to the other side. I guess was one of these clubs. It was like a I don't want to say prostitution because it wasn't that. It was." I mean, I don't know what it was, a sex club, right? And they would take us through.
What is a sex club?
So
you know what he's talking about.
So they took
What
us
is
through.
a Korean sex club?
Listen, they took us through this hallway that was like purple and like just like loud music, just ripping.
And
right?
you were
Just-
there? So you're there.
They're escorting us through this.
Through this Korean sex club.
We don't know that. We've been taken in through the back.
You're about to
So
find
you've had
out.
an escort then.
You're an escort
So we're
through-
dropped off. We're picked up from the hotel like usual in a van. We go down. They bring us in a back door and we walk through. We go up an elevator. We're walking through this hall and it's like really nice looking, really nice purple lights, oof, 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 just really loud music and doors. No numbers on the doors, just doors. We're going through. And all of a sudden it opens up to like a lobby and there's like 15 women. I mean, just some of the most beautiful women you've ever imagined in your life. And they all turn and see us and they go, "Oh, hey." And we're like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" Like we still have no clue.
Hey, guys.
And we're just like, "Hey." They're like,
guys.
"Man, there's a friendly group back there." And they're all like, "Hey, hey." And,
Hey, boys.
right. And we go through. And then the guy opens the door, and then the music a little quieter, and he's like, "Yeah, that's we got to cut through the sex club." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's what that was!"
Oh man.
So then my buddy, who's spent a lot of time in Asia by this point, had just traveled back from Korea, or maybe I was in Korea. No, I don't think I was in Korea for this one. But he comes in guest list. He's in the dressing room, and I said, "Man, it was so wild. They took us to this sex club, right? And it looked so nice." And the lights were so nice. I mean, everything was like super high end looking, and it just had this long hallway of doors and loud music. And he goes, "Oh yeah, that's just like the club I went to in Korea." I said, "Well, tell me more." And he said, "Oh yeah, for my birthday, my buddy, while we were over there, he got me a room and 5 gals." And he told the story, and I said, "Well, 5 gals?
It's a workout.
How long? Yeah." So I go, "How long does that last? Like, is that in
what's
15-minute
going on there?
increments?" And he goes,
Is it all at once?
Yes. He said it was all at once, and it was for 3 hours.
Whoa.
And I was like, that doesn't even make, I can't calculate. That makes no sense to me.
I would need some quiet
Yeah,
time.
I need one of those.
You guys got to leave.
You need
for a
one of
little
those
bit.
Gatorade buckets.
And he says it, and he said it all worked the same. You go in, and it's all super high-end stuff, and he would just select whoever he wanted, and the music is really loud throughout the hallway, so you can make whatever
Noise you want. Scream all you want.
No one's
Get me out of here.
Scream all you want. Ain't nobody gonna
he
hear.
made it seem like in particular ones you can actually choose what style of music, because it was weird. We were walking through and it was like dance music, but then there was like metal.
Oh,
I
man.
remember there was like kind of a metal scene of the music that was going on. But dude, wild stuff. I mean, most of these stories I can't tell, but like this one experience we had landed. We came from Australia, and we were going to Singapore. And Singapore is wild. It's like a very unique place. They have really strict laws on certain things.
You can't chew gum.
Yeah, you can't spit on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
These are crimes, right? And
Yeah, I remember Singapore is where the guy got caned for graffitiing.
Yeah, it's really tight because all the surrounding islands and countries aren't as tight with the laws, and so a lot of wild things happen. And that's like the safe place where it's like the Switzerland of Southeast Asia. So bankers and all these super rich people put their money there. So in order to keep that trust,
where there's super rich people,
so
sex workers.
well, it's wild you say that. So in
actually.
order to keep that trust with the money of the area, Singapore is super tight on the laws. But we land, and we'd taken a different flight from some of the other. We were with this big giant tour, and everybody's coming from Australia. We land maybe 2 hours after some of the other crew and bands had landed, and we pull up in the cab, in the cab to the hotel. And some friends walked by that I guess had been on one of the earlier flights, and they got these women with them. And we're like, what happened? Like, where you guys been? He's like, oh, yeah, we got here an hour ago. We went to and then they call it the 4 floors of horrors. And it's a building.
Isn't that the nickname of a high school around here?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it is.
But it's a real place.
And a really cool movie.
It's a real place in Singapore that these guys went to, and they said it looks like, you know, those H&Ms in New York that has like
multi-level,
right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, men's is on floor 3, and whatever. It's like different style of gals are on each floor.
Well,
wow.
A couple people hitting us with the instant feedback. Half of those people that they think are women are probably not women.
Oh, you do got to keep your head on a swivel about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's more prominent in certain areas.
Certain areas,
Thailand, Philippines,
Thailand.
couple of us, and and there's some friends that have stories in Thailand as well.
Having to do with that?
No, that has to do
what
with,
they thought
it
was.
has to do with ping pong balls. But
That's a fun game.
do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, apparently that's a famous thing. I had some friends say, we got to go see the ping pong show. And
I don't know. I
don't know
would
what
just.
that means.
I'm sure I know somebody
I'm sure you
that
know
does
somebody.
this a lot.
Yeah, because those guys are not the guys that you would. I don't even know what you would assume would be the guys that would do that kind of stuff, but it's not. I don't know. It was a surprise.
It's a thriving industry.
That's why every single time these guys would have these stories, my mouth was just open. I was just like, "What? What? Like, I can't even fathom any of this. It makes no sense to me."
Yeah, I mean, and I just looked up the sex industry dictionary, acronyms, glossary, lingo, codes, terminology, and there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Do you know what let me see here. Some of the stuff.
Here we go.
And obviously, blue pill is Viagra. I mean, there's a lot of this stuff I can't even talk about.
I would be so intimidated to even be in that scenario, knowing that I don't know the lingo. You know what I mean? I mean, I would just be so intimidated on every level.
They'd ask you a question, you're like, yeah, I love books. And
Yeah,
you have no
like
clue what
you-
I don't.
yeah.
Is that something else?
Every-
I don't
Just
know.
boom.
And if I ask for an around the world, that's a.
Every question they would ask me, I would go, "Can you explain to me exactly what that means?" Because I don't want to agree to anything that I'm not totally understanding you on.
Yeah, let's go around the world.
I want
Whoa!
no surprises.
Whoa! Yeah, there's a lot. Wow, there are so many. Look at all these terms.
Oh, and that's just like the general. Yeah, you'd have to have like an index, like a stack of index cards with.
The old half and half. I know that one.
Is that
With
coffee?
the belly button?
Half,
Something-
what, top half, bottom half? What are the halves?
That's
Oh, half a, and half a.
yeah.
Half of this, half of that.
Half of
Okay.
that. Yes, half of this, half of that.
Okay. Well, see, I guess some of them are guessable, but I wouldn't want
We
to.
all know what hardwood floors are.
I wouldn't want to assume.
Happy ending. I know that one.
It's a wild world, dude.
If you ask for an Italian, that's
Who is that? A sub? Is that a?
if you ask for an Italian. Wow,
Wait. How
I can't even.
where do you begin to
I
guess
can't
with
even
this?
say what that is.
Italian. Can I see?
Can you read that?
Where is it?
Just like
Where's it
normal,
say?
but
Right
with
here.
a little extra mozzarella.
Throw some sauce on top.
What in the world?
I don't know why they would call that Italian.
Well, that's more. Well, I mean, I guess it is somewhat of a sandwich, right?
I guess like sausage between the buns.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
It really should be more, called like the bratwurst or something.
The Italian's classier way of saying it.
Just an
man.
Italian for me.
Just an Italian.
Let me see here, man. All this stuff. I guess if you're a vice squad police officer,
Yeah.
you got to know all this stuff. You got to know all the codes.
They probably know it all, yeah.
You know, there's a lot of just just 2 letters. Yeah, I'm here for just an R and T.
Let's see, what is R&T?
Well, you would go to a particular massage
Okay.
parlor for one of those.
I know what R&T is, yeah.
I'm here for an R and T.
Do you know what a party hat is?
A condom?
Yeah.
All right, I got that. Thank you,
See,
Scott.
I would have had a blank look on my face.
I'm still
bring your party
blanking.
hat?
Yeah.
I'm still blanking on R&T.
Yeah, R&T.
Oh, the old,
Rumble tumble.
Yep, the rumble tumble.
The rumble tumble.
Yes.
You want me to write it down?
Wrestling and oh yeah. Now it seems so
R&T,
very
yeah.
obvious. See, again, I'm lost in this world.
Yeah, there's so many terms. Damn.
Yeah.
Another word for condom, Scott, is an umbrella.
Wild stuff. Wild stuff.
Or if we're crazy tonight, we can go uncovered.
So
Don't want to go uncovered.
it's interesting too because
itches.
I also knew this gal who was in a different country than where she was from, and she was there for, I forget what she said. It wasn't light sex work, but it was something like that. Like, so she was like a dancer and whatever, but she wasn't there to strip. She was there to be, I guess like a sex worker, but not like full sex or something. I forget.
Like just an escort, like a
No,
companion?
so like there were like there's a lot of clubs and things. Again, this particular story was in Asia. I think she was from Australia, but and there was another gal from Russia that was there that was kind of leading all the gals, and they would be hired by different clubs and not necessarily sex clubs. Like one of our favorite places to go in Roppongi, this like more of like a party district in Tokyo. Just has like bars, like rock bars and rock clubs and different things like that. And they would hire these like European gals and Australian gals and different people just to be there. And they would hire them. Basically, they would give them free booze and they would feed them and they would pay them just to hang out. And most of them
to make it look like, look at this.
Yeah, just to
Look at
fill
this
out the
guy
bars.
with his with all the ladies.
Yeah.
Right. So
that ladies' night mentality.
Ladies, yeah.
Exactly. So like these beautiful women, I remember the one gal from Russia, she kind of led the pack because she spoke the best English and Japanese. And then there was a couple of other gals from like Northern Europe, and they were there, and they were like really friendly with us because we were also being paid to be there, like as guests and stuff. So they would hang with us, but like, oh yeah, we never talk to anybody. We just hang over here. They literally pay us just to be here. We refuse to talk to any patrons, but they give us food, and that's the biggest thing is we get free food here.
Wow. Sad, isn't it?
No, but
Depends on the food.
Well, yeah.
but for them, like they weren't doing anything sexual. They
So
would
they just hang out.
They
They
were just
probably
they were
gutsy
just
themselves
models.
up.
Yeah, so they
They
were
dress nice and they just hang out.
they were dancers in their home countries, and they came there and were just models to be in these rich clubs. Just to be paid to hang out and honestly just be in the
And
backgrounds
look
of photos.
like where the pretty people go.
Yes, be in the background of photos, and they were all models,
yeah.
and I mean just gorgeous women. But they freely were
Yeah,
like,
not
oh,
for
yeah,
sex or anything, just to hang out.
no sex,
Weird.
just to be in the back of photos.
Mike, I've never been asked to go someplace just to
be the sex candy of
be
the
the
room.
sex candy. Yeah.
Just come in here and stand around, Riz.
No, nobody pays me for that.
Bait them in there.
Yeah, it was crazy too because we went back every year to do like similar tour, and this club would always pay us to go down there, and we would always see the same couple leader gals and then a whole new crew of people.
Yeah.
And that was their
wild
gig.
scene.
Is they were the in-betweens between these clubs and these groups of gals. Like, oh, for $2,000, I'll get you 8 gals tonight. They'll sit back in the corner. You give them vodka and you give them spaghetti. It was spaghetti too. Of all the
very
things,
messy food.
It was so, and it did not taste like Italian spaghetti. It was so bizarre.
Yeah, a lot of fellas checking in here with some stuff I can't say as far as going to a sex worker. A lot.
Getting the
My
details.
emails. Yeah, my emails and okay.
It is a veiled community, huh? I mean, I see people online often say sex work is real work, and people promoting the idea of sex work. But same thing. I don't know what they're even talking about. Or I don't know if they're just talking about stripping.
Yeah, well,
or,
there's also a lot of this human trafficking stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's obviously the dark side.
Yeah.
The dark side of the whole thing. These women, sold into slavery basically. Doing this stuff.
It's wild.
Yeah, that's scary stuff.
Very scary stuff. I used to pick up the RFT right on the back pages.
Yeah.
The back page of the RFT, there'd be kind of escort services.
I just assumed those were stings or something.
Yeah, that's what I would think. I would think everything's a sting.
I think when they got rid of that, when they got rid of Craigslist, like a lot of like legit sex workers were like super upset because that was the
Absolutely.
I understand
the
that,
way.
but you got to weigh out the Yeah, but we're also trying to save, women from a life of slavery.
Yeah.
And, being bought and sold.
Legalize it all, moderate it.
Yeah, you bring it up like, that's probably a sting operation. It's like, if I find $20 on the floor and I'm looking around, I'm like, there's a camera on me.
Yeah.
And that was
a string attached.
And that was
to it.
the argument in a lot of those Asian countries. Is they legalized it, they monitored it, they made sure everything was on the up and up as much as it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as the government's got their hand out, there's going to be nobody bad coming in here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can say
the trafficking's
say
still
that about
there.
anything.
You can say that about anything.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a black market for stuff.
What do you?
Yeah, the
There's always gonna be an
trafficking's still
underground.
heavily involved in those countries. But
I'm just glad Moon knows so much about sex clubs
Well,
in
yeah,
Tokyo.
he's our
I
go-to.
do.
He's our go-to when it
don't.
comes to this topic.
I do not.
Well, okay, so
Those were not sex clubs. Those are like rock clubs.
all the guys kind of checking in here, giving their stories. All right, there's a lot of people that listen to this radio program. We got surgeons on their way to Barnes who at 9 o'clock will be scrubbing up for a open heart surgery.
Yep.
To fellas on their way to the construction site. A wide swath of people listen to this radio show. Men, women, everybody. We're the #1 morning show in St. Louis. So we haven't done this in a while. This will be a who's listening kind of thing. Oh, we got Iggy from TMA here. Good
What's
morning.
up, dude?
I don't know if you
You just missed the greatest
just missed a
conversation.
great topic here.
he wouldn't know anything about it.
There was a gentleman out in St. Charles. I guess he had left a bad review for a sex worker, and she went and killed him. Like she stabbed the dude. She was just sentenced to 25 years.
Boy, that was bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, will he expect his money back?
I don't know, but he left a bad review, and she said that because of his bad review, she was losing business. And she came and killed the dude.
I didn't know you could do that anymore.
What, leave reviews?
Which part?
No. Escorts.
Oh,
This is
right.
St. Louis?
This is St. Louis. Yeah, this is
St.
out in
Charles.
Wentzville.
Or Wentzville, yeah.
Well, then back of the Riverfront Times?
That's what we
That's
said.
what I was saying. You remember the back pages of the RFT? All right, so and Iggy's here for a reason, for a very charitable reason, actually. But okay, so I want to put this out there. All right, our phone number is 314-624-3833 or 618-398-3833. Is there anybody out there that's been beaten up by a hooker? I want to hear the story. Is there anybody out there that's been beaten up by a hooker? I'm gonna throw another couple things out there too, all right?
I'm excited
Because
about
I want to see who's listening. Is there anybody out there who is a porn star listening? Now, I know, Iggy, there's probably a bunch here in the area that
They listen to our show.
listen. Well, they'll probably listen to both shows.
Yeah, I would think so.
Are there any porn stars out there? Is there anybody who's had sex with a well-known celebrity? Is there anybody who's sleeping with their boss? And is there anybody out there who's been abducted by aliens?
putting together a crew, huh?
Yeah, dude. It sounds like you're going on a heist.
Yes.
Hey, maybe we'll hit on one of those. All right, is there anybody out there who's been beaten up by a hooker,
This is the movie, The RIZZ Show 7.
is a porn star, has had sex with a well-known celebrity, is sleeping with their boss, or has been abducted by aliens?
Oh, The RIZZ Show 5.
Maybe not aliens, an alien.
Yes.
Just an abduction experience.
An abduction experience. 314-624-3833 or 618-398-3833. Iggy, good morning, buddy.
Morning to you.
Nice to see you. Iggy from next door.
Right.
I've never been abducted.
TMA.
So there's one of those that never happened to me.
Have you ever been to the red light district in Amsterdam?
No, just coffee shops.
There's coffee shops.
Smoke pot, drink coffee.
You never even just walk down. I've never been to Amsterdam. I've never been to Amsterdam before.
Cool place.
I think if I went, would I go to the red light district? Not for any kind of service or anything.
Yeah, you'd be
just
like
to check it out.
80% of the people there just walk the
Yeah,
street.
take a stroll.
Just to look at the windows. Just to be like, holy smokes. If I went back to America and I told my buddy Brian that I was in Amsterdam, he's going to ask, did you see the red light district?
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
I need to be able to say, yeah.
Just
I've
to
seen it.
say I've been there.
I'm not sure I knew about it.
Get out of here.
I was still, what was I, mid to late 20s?
Not the 1920s, but in your 20s.
Well, I don't look that old.
You're gonna get that here.
No, we just went for a week. It was kind of a weird thing because I lived in Bermuda, and we could stay at, I worked at the Sonesta Beach. So we could stay at Sonesta Beach hotels anywhere in the world for $5 a night.
Whoa.
So me and my buddies, they lived all over the world. We would go back in March because we had the winters off, and we'd all pick a place to go meet before we went back to Bermuda for the season. And I said, hey, there's an Amsterdam Sonesta, let's go there. So we did, but we just...
It's a place you go to smoke pot because it was legal there.
That's pretty much all we did.
Yeah, the pot cafes.
Dang.
Nice little city.
Let's go to John. You can hang out for a couple minutes, right? Your show doesn't start till 7, right?
Even if it starts at 7, I don't need to go in.
All right, good. Yeah, you're the guy on that show that just comes in whenever he wants, right?
I walked into your studio mid-show. I walk into my studio.
Well, and I told you, we have for certain people, an open door policy. So, Iggy, you are allowed to walk in here whenever.
I would never do that, but thank you.
Please do.
Right?
Open door. Yeah, open door.
I walk in other shows, but I wouldn't disturb this one.
No disturb. We got nothing going on here. Let's go to John on line 1. John, good morning.
Good morning.
You have worked in pornography?
Yes, you could say that.
Okay, so what was your job?
I help a couple ladies shoot their own OnlyFans content, and one of them actually uploads it to a popular pornographic site, so that stuff can be found on there as well.
So you're the cameraman?
For the most part, yes, I have helped shoot more adult content.
Have you been an actor in any of this stuff?
Yes. We did the delivery guy scenario one time, and very awkward.
Like a role play, like you're the pizza guy,
and you were the delivery guy.
1,000%. 1,000%. We even went and ordered a pizza to make it look more legitimate. But yeah, it's weird. It just started out with an ex who was comfortable with me taking her pictures, and it kind of progressed there, and she put her stuff on, the OnlyFans, and then it progressed to her friends wanting to get into it, so then I took their pictures, then I was involved with them, and
now there's video. I'm sure that there's video involved, and it is migrated over to one of the porn sites.
Not of me, but of them. Whoa. Some of the stuff that I have shot is on them, but I requested that me not be on, a Googleable site. So if you wanted to see me personally, you'd have to, subscribe to her page.
So do you know if these girls are making money off it?
Yes. I work in a union job, and they make my paycheck look like scraps.
Whoa.
Are you shooting stuff on a phone, or do you have a camera? I'm just wondering about the professionalism of it.
The majority of it is more of like a POV shot when I'm involved.
You're wearing a GoPro.
Pretty much. We do have one GoPro, and the other stuff is just shot with an iPhone.
Do you pay attention to lighting?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, is you have to wear like a light meter?
At first, no. It was just, because you're just trying to figure it out. I'm no cameraman.
Just grip it and rip it, right?
You are now, man.
Pretty much.
Whistling in the dark.
I am now. So we've got the ring lights.
Yeah.
So
Production
now
value.
we're looking at backlights and dust.
Well, hey, keep the overhead low. You got a good thing going here. Don't.
You start lying, go high.
Now, John, just one more question for you. I'm curious how much some of these OnlyFans girls are making. Are we talking?
We talking
100,000, 200,000?
Her best month, she cleared $42,000.
Wow.
In 1 month.
Is she from St. Louis?
She is.
Yeah. I've heard like 4 or 5 people's girlfriends have started, and it all started during the pandemic. They had nothing to do.
Yeah. Thank you, John.
They started shooting OnlyFans.
And they're killing it, huh?
Well, some of them. We've got one that's got 12 subscribers, and she's charging $10.
Yeah, it's not a guarantee.
That's not a guarantee.
You might give it away there.
Now, I was wondering if Moon starts an OnlyFans,
My
like
feet.
just for his feet.
I have beautiful feet, Iggy.
There is a lot of foot fetishes out there.
No, yeah, there are a lot of foot
I
fetishes.
have been offered money for pics of my feet.
Really? Do it.
Well, okay.
It's only your feet.
Yeah, it's only your feet.
And they are beautiful.
Like, it's another revenue stream. Like, I'm wondering, can you make $2,000 a month?
$2,000 a month, man. That's an easy.
Like, so
that's an easy yes. If you tell me that that's what I could make.
Every week, we take like 5 pictures of your feet.
5 pictures. Wow, that's a lot.
It's not a lot.
You can do that in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 pictures of your feet.
Okay.
We'll put them up there.
All
It's a subscription only. $10 a month.
$10 a month for 5, 10, 15 for 20 pictures
Yeah.
a month. Wow. Okay. All right.
That's reasonable, right?
It's
I
at
just
least,
think I have more
Even
value.
if you charge $5 and you had 10 people do it, you got $50 just to take your sock off and take a picture.
This is socks off?
Socks off.
It's like a 5-minute deal for you.
All right, let's go to Billy on line 2. Billy, you were beat up by a hooker?
Yeah, I was beat up by a hooker in Thailand.
Oh, what happened?
Yeah, so I was in the Marine Corps, and I was stationed in Japan, and we went on a operation in Thailand to do some training over there in Pattaya City, and just walking down the streets, there's hookers that are stationed and posted up at bars everywhere, and they'd see Americans, so they'd start screaming, American, American. They'd come out.
Yeah.
They'd start grabbing at your stuff and everything, and if you didn't comply and go with them, then they'd start beating you up. I mean,
so
they'd start
aggressive,
punching very, very aggressive.
Yikes.
Well, so did you get socked in the face?
Yeah, I got socked in the face a couple times, slapped in the face a couple times, but, you're able to get away from them because they're moving on to the next customer by then. But one of the funny things, too, in that area, speaking about ping pong balls, is that the strip clubs in Thailand, instead of dealing with singles, they deal with ping pong balls. So you just buy a bucket of those, and there's ping pong balls flying all around the stage, and the strippers are trying to get them. Oh, it's hilarious. And there's a second
Captain
floor.
Kangaroo
So you
that.
can just dump them down. It's fantastic.
Whoa, I'd be bringing paddle. I'd bring a paddle.
Yeah, you could have a game if you wanted to.
Thank you, Billy.
So he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he knows what you're talking
I
about.
had a friend that got turned down by a hooker once.
Whoa.
Maybe
How
the first
ugly
time
do you have to be?
Ever. Yeah, I used to go to this resort in Jamaica called Hedonism.
Oh, yeah? I've heard of that.
And there's so much nudity, if you're on the nude side, that the hookers figured, these guys are horny as hell, see naked people all day, so they just hang out at the hotel. They get a night pass and just hang out.
Yeah.
And my friend from Baltimore, kind of a short, stocky guy, cop, never got laid down there. And so he said, I'm just going to get this hooker. She had already been with like 3 dudes that evening. She's standing there. He goes, want to go back to my room? And she just looked at him, can't you see I'm watching the show?
Oh, it was like a show on the resort?
Yeah. And I said, you got turned down by a hooker.
There is a fire twirler here.
It wasn't even a good show.
That's gotta hurt the ego.
That's got to sting.
Wow.
Oh, he was like downtrodden the rest of the trip.
Oh man.
Let's go to JD. JD, you were almost robbed and almost had your truck stolen on the east side by a sex worker?
Yeah, when we were in high school, we used to think it was fun to drive over across the bridge to like the Brooklyn area because there would always be prostitutes on different corners, and just roll our windows down and stop and see what they would show us or whatever.
Yeah.
That's as far as it would go. And one evening we went over there, and the truck hadn't even come to a rolling stop, and this person yanked open the door and jumped in a cab of the truck, and it was just 2 of us in the truck.
Whoa.
Shut the door. Ended up being a man with a wig on.
Whoa. And was going to carjack you?
Well, he just wanted some money, and somehow he reached over and got the keys out of the ignition, and there we were, stopped in the middle of the road, pleading with this man to get out of the truck.
Oh, my God.
Yikes.
So we ended up paying him $20, and he got out and went on his way.
Well, you know
That's all it was.
what? Play stupid games, get silly prizes. Am I right?
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Wow.
JD.
Hey, back to the I think you said Marine that was over in Thailand. With that cow getting aggressive.
Yeah.
It's like really common because they have like a different sense of of personal space and like respect, and it's not even like a disrespectful thing with the touchiness. I had a similar experience in a flea market in China. I think it was in Beijing, and I was there, and there was like markets, and they were selling everything from fish to necklaces or whatever. And I was like, I was looking at this necklace, and this gal came over and she grabbed my shoulder, and she was aggressive. And we did not have any lingual connection there. So she had a calculator and like put a number down. And I was like, no. I shook my head, no. And I put in a ridiculously low number, because I didn't really want the necklace. And then she goes, and she's like, no. And I was like, oh, okay, no big deal. And I was getting ready to leave. And I mean, she ripped me back from my hoodie and like started smacking me. And then put another number in. And I was like, no, I'll play this game. So I put my same number in. She was like, no. She started hitting me in the chest.
Well, because to her, you wasted her time.
Well, she would just get like very physical. Everything is just. Is much more physical than you would ever anticipate in a country like ours. And eventually, I mean, I got the necklace, a hell of a price, man. But that's how you haggle.
Guys.
That's how you haggle. You take a couple bruises and you pass back the calculator.
I didn't know.
I tell people to go out of town. When you leave from the United States, wherever you go, barter.
Yeah, it was
It's
a
not
great.
like you walk into Macy's and I'll give you 10 for it. But out of the country, any other country, just barter.
It's the art of haggling.
Everything
Iggy.
is bartering and haggling, and it was just a phenomenal experience. I miss Asia so much. I really do.
Let's go to line one. Marie, hello. You're a former sex worker, huh?
Yes, I am. I'm from the St. Louis area, and I'm telling you, you can go to certain neighborhoods, and you know what kind of neighborhood you're in. It's not hard to figure it out. But I'm telling you, if you don't want these girls to go into your pocket, some of these girls have no problem going into your pocket. No problem at all.
So when they're at your house, they'll root around your place.
I don't know about that. I've never done that to anybody. I would never do that to anybody. But I've seen girls like try to physically strong arm dudes. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, these bitches with nuts and like try to strong arm dudes and try to get their money, and it's traumatic for everybody. Everybody involved.
Where would you advertise your services, Marie?
Online. I would walking? No, that's dangerous. That is where you're going to get in trouble. Go out there to Martin Luther King or somewhere like that. You're going to get in trouble like that. Stay in your lane. Know where you're at.
So you advertise your services online. I mean, how do you know? How do you vet where you're going? I mean, do you look at the neighborhood? How do you know you're not falling into a trap?
Most of the time, they're coming to you. You're not gonna put yourself out there to go to somebody's house and put yourself in danger. You don't know who they got there.
Yeah.
You got to be smart.
Well, would you travel with anybody or just go by yourself?
There were certain people I would travel with. They were regulars that, definitely I would travel with. It depends on the money, too.
So how much would you get?
Yeah, what was the average?
What was the average price for a session with you?
Like, how long is this session? Like, how long are we talking about?
For an hour.
Yeah, an hour.
For an hour, I'm wanting 200. And I'm getting tips, too. Guaranteed.
200 and a tip.
As soon as I walk, guaranteed. Absolutely. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make you feel nice.
And did you have to...
I'm not one of these bitches that you picked up on the street.
Did you work for yourself, or did you have to kick your money up to somebody?
No, I never took my money to anybody. I'm sorry. I can hold on to my money by myself. I can get in trouble by myself. I can do that all by myself.
You are a strong, independent woman.
Thank you.
Strong, independent woman, Marie. Did you ever have to beat anybody up?
No, but it came close. I'm not afraid to. I will fuck you up. I'm sorry. My bad.
Got a loose cannon.
Right, my bad.
So would you bring a weapon with you or just your fists?
Sometimes there would be knives involved, but you read the scene, read the room, make sure you know where you're going. Keep yourself smart. If you're going to put yourself out there, you need to make sure that you protect yourself. This is a crazy-ass world.
Yeah, you hear that, Iggy? Protect yourself at all times. It is a crazy-ass world.
I admire you for not bringing anybody with you. Most, what Whether they're strippers going to a bachelor party or hookers, they always got somebody outside the door waiting.
Well, there's
for
usually the big guy holding the boombox.
Well, there was always somebody that I could call. What the fuck you think of that?
Come on, man.
My God, this is
I'm very impressed with
How do you feel about bad reviews?
yeah.
No,
I know, right? I don't want a bad review.
No, Maria.
I'm retired. No, I'm retired. I don't do this shit no more. I'm done. I'm retired. I'm good.
See you later.
Thank you, Maria.
Got a live one.
Dude,
I had 3 dumps on Marie. I'm sorry I had to let you go. I want to talk to you forever, Marie, but I got to let you go.
She said, $200 an hour, but I really want. And she said tips. I thought she said kissed. I thought she said, but I'm gonna get kissed. And I was like, whoa, that's different. That's not what you
Just want
assumed.
some intimacy.
A couple more here. Let's go to Josh. You were one of Danielle Diamond's clients?
Yeah, man. Good morning, guys. Love your show.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, man, I was going through a major transition in my life. Basically, I was quitting drinking, and all my adult life, I was used to going to bars and meeting women and stuff. So for a few months there, I just was trying to figure out how to meet chicks, and it wasn't going that well. And I lived in Australia before that, and prostitution was legal there. So, I was kind of used to visiting that world, and found the website, and didn't have any idea what I was doing. Like you guys mentioned earlier, there was all these acronyms, and I was Googling them, and I'm like, was pretty terrified. But, yeah. And then one thing led to another, and Danielle eventually came over and kind of just showed me the ropes, told me what to look out for, told me, how police operate, how scammers operate, and she was a really sweet girl. I'd never left her a bad review.
Well, yeah, and you know what happens if you do.
Man, that's quite.
How much did she charge?
Quite a review.
It was about the same as the lady was telling before. I think it was around $200 for maybe half an hour, and then up from there.
Wow.
And
man,
of course, I was always trying to take the economic route.
Yeah.
there's no better time to think economically.
That's like Chris Rock from that movie. How much for one rib? Thank you, Josh.
Oh man, I tell you what.
All right.
He's like, one acronym Google search led to another acronym Google search.
Yeah. Let's go to Jane. Jane, you have quite a resume here. You made porn, you slept with your boss, and you were abducted by aliens.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was back up for a hooker.
Oh, back up for a hooker, too.
Quite a resume.
A full life
Yeah.
is what they call it.
Yeah, thank you.
So where do we want to start
Let's go
here?
with aliens first.
Yeah.
Yes, let's start and end with aliens, please.
You were abducted.
Yes. So I was put into an ambulance at a certain point, and the ambulance kept going up this. Well, it was a very long, bumpy trip. Went up what I thought was a parking garage circle, up and up and up.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to God, it was an alien ship.
And where they take you?
Released, and I was on a ship that was the appearance of a hospital, but it wasn't a hospital. It was completely different. When I went the next week, it was completely different, the inside, but it looked the same. Anyway, when I was leaving, what the dead giveaway was, when I was leaving, there was a vortex, whoosh, kind of out the doors, and that was the dead giveaway for me.
That you were abducted. And where were you? What part of town were you in so I could avoid it?
Yeah.
St. Louis. I think it was, what is that hospital? SLU.
What were you being taken to the hospital for?
Mental illness.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe you.
But it was definitely an alien abduction.
Definitely an alien. All right. Hey, Scott, since she's got all this stuff, give her tickets to something.
Yeah.
We have a winner.
Hang on, Jane. All right, 2 more phone calls. Let's go to John. Hello, John.
Hi. How's it going?
So you got bamboozled by a sex worker, or your brother did?
My brother did. My poor brother.
And what happened?
He was a virgin up till 21, and his dad decided to take him to Vegas for his 21st birthday. And paid for a sex worker to come up and take care of him.
Your dad did?
No, not my dad. His dad.
Okay, so it's a stepbrother.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's a half brother. But so the sex worker came up to the room and said she needs $200, and then she was going to go freshen up in her car, and she was going to come right back. And he gave her $200, and she never returned.
What a shock!
See ya.
Did she?
Didn't see that one coming. Come on,
I
man.
think I have the sound that you made. Oh, thanks for the $200. Thank you,
right
John.
back.
Oh man.
Did Dad let that happen?
Yeah.
That's the move. What are you going to do?
Dude, the one gal
Say
talking
stay
about
here?
the ambulance being in a ship, like that reminds me. There was a moment a couple years ago. I was with my buddy Mike, who plays bass for Goldfinger, and we were hanging, and I was a bit intoxicated, and I was in my hotel room, and this was an intoxication level I had not reached before. And I was in my hotel room, and on TV it was like Jimmy Kimmel or something, and there was Matthew McConaughey and Snoop Dogg, and I don't know what they did together or why they were there or what they were promoting. But the way that they were speaking, I had become convinced that they were talking to me, and they were teasing me through the television.
Weed, man.
And then the room kind of went hook like this and all moved together.
How many edibles were you?
And
Yeah, that's not normal.
that is when I realized I was in an alien spaceship traveling through space, being communicated with through the television by Matthew
Did you
McConaughey
see
and
Jane
Snoop
there?
Dogg.
One more call. Daniel, hello.
And they were teasing me.
So you and a friend would go to Brooklyn a lot, and you were actually robbed by a lady of the night?
Yes. So the young lady that called in a couple of calls ago and was talking about how they go through your pockets. So this is like what they do a lot, you know. So we pulled up, and they approached both sides of the car, and then they started doing a little handiwork to distract us or whatever. And so I was like, you know, it was his first time. I frequented over there a lot, and then I said, let's go, you know, and he was like, oh, no, I'm having fun, whatever. I was like, oh, let's go. So we pull off, and I go, check your pockets. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, check your pockets, bro. I said, they were going through our pockets, and he reached in his pocket, and he lost some money and a bag of some greenage. So.
And just like that, huh? It's like, didn't even realize. It's like
pretty
sleight of
slick.
hand.
Just go.
Right when you pull up, they just come up to your door, and they start, oh, hey, you know, and they start doing a little handiwork for you, and then it's like, you know, boom, they're right in your pockets. So it's like, I'm sure a lot of people get that over there. I mean, it's like, you know.
Man, that's wild.
You got to be careful. Thank you,
That
Daniel.
is wild. Where was that again?
In Brooklyn.
No kidding.
Brooklyn Ill. Remember, we were at a particular gentleman's establishment doing a gig.
Yeah, you talking about in the parking lot?
Yeah, in the parking lot. And we're in the parking lot.
We were there for a gig, and we Riz and I both like to get places early.
And it was a late night gig. The gig started like
super late.
midnight.
Yeah, super late.
So we were in the
But
parking
were
lot
early.
like 11:30.
Yeah, probably.
Guy comes outside screaming at us, "Don't hang out here!"
No, yeah, but we had just gotten out.
It's not safe.
And we were talking, and one of the guys from the club came out and goes, "Hey, stop hanging out here! Get inside!
Get inside!"
Oh,
just for our safety.
sorry,
Not
man.
safe in the parking lot?
No.
Yeah, this is
Not in
this,
that particular
That's your
location.
responsibility.
this wasn't even around the corner. This is 3 spots from the door. We were right
Isn't that where
by
they
the
cook
door.
hamburgers?
No, you're thinking Sasha. This is out in
This
Brooklyn.
is different.